Hey, this is Dr. Eric. I'm here to give you a great piece of advice on a fall drink that is Maximize Living Advanced Plan approved. It's also extremely healthy and it will give you a lot of the benefits that you're looking for with probiotic cultures and improving GI tract function. So what we're going to do is we're going to use some Beyond Organic products. There's two of them that I have today that aren't necessarily the favorites of many people. I love these the way they are, but for a lot of people, they taste them and say, oh, too bitter, too nasty, too whatever, because they haven't accustomed themselves to this kind of a flavor. So what we have is the Suero Gold, which is a fantastic hydration and cleansing beverage. This is cultured whey, and it's just pure cultured whey. So loaded with probiotics and a great mineral blend. There's a good sodium-potassium balance here, so it's great for cleansing. Doesn't necessarily taste great, but if we do what we're going to do today, we can make it taste really good. The next one is the Amasai, which is more of a milk product, kind of like a kefir or kefir, as you might say. Really, really strong, powerful probiotic blend in here. It's just rich with probiotics. So we have a living food. It's fermented and it's cultured and it's changing all the time. So you're improving probiotics as it sits here on its own. So that's a pretty cool thing as well. Now one thing that's good to know, if you have an issue with milk, or if you believe you shouldn't be touching milk because it's high in its inflammatory molecules, the lectin, casein, then it's good to know that this product, because A, it's grass-fed, as well as specific cows that were selected because they produce very little casein, at least the A1 beta casein that causes inflammation at high levels. There are many people who have sensitivities to dairy who can drink this product or eat the cheese of these cows and have no issue at all. So that's a good thing to know. Loaded with fat, that fat has a lot of fat-soluble vitamins in it, so the A, D, E, and K are in this, so it's great. So what we're going to do is we're going to use this, and we're going to make ourselves a chai beverage today. So first, I'm going to shake this up, and we're going to put some of this in our glass, our mixing glass, and you'll see just how thick this is. I mean, it's great how thick this is. We're going to pour about half the bottle in here. So we got half a glass there. And we want to make this chai, so it's pretty much bitter without anything added to it because there's no sugar in it besides just the natural sugar that's in the lactose. So what we want to do is we want to make sure that we bring the sweetness up a little bit. So we're going to use stevia. So I've got some liquid stevia to do that. And I'm just going to add 4 drops of stevia. It's not going to be much for this amount, but that's all we need. So just really easy. 1, 2, 3, 4 drops of stevia. And now we want to bring a vanilla flavor in. So I've got some vanilla, about a teaspoon to a teaspoon and a half. I'm just going to splash it in for you. I'm going to go a little bit of a splash and then just a little bit more there. That should be pretty good. And we can do this to taste. So as we're experimenting, we can change the amount based on what we like. So I'm going to go ahead and just use a fork to mix that up so I can get it really nice and agitated there. And I'll start just by tasting it with just this flavor alone, and we'll see how we do with that. I'm going to add a little more vanilla. I think the sweetness is good for me. So there we go, a little more vanilla. And then the next ingredients we want to add would basically be pumpkin pie spice. I'm going to do those as individual ingredients versus the pumpkin pie spice. One of the things when you buy a spice that's a combination spice, you want to watch out for anything that's added. So the word natural flavors, those two words together, that's a caution. You could trust it if you know the manufacturer is trusted. You know, someone who is actually manufacturing a lot of organic or GMO-free foods. They're unlikely to have anything added in that natural flavor that's bad for you. But if you don't know or don't trust the manufacturer, then I wouldn't go with a combo spice. I'd rather use individual. So we've got whole cloves, which are just plain whole cloves. And what I did to get those prepared is I put them in a typical coffee blender, so a small blender, and I ground those down. Of course, you could buy ground cloves, that's fine too. So I've got some cloves, and I'm just going to go ahead and just put a little pinch of cloves in here. It's going to be less than a teaspoon for sure, but probably around half a teaspoon, more than a pinch. And then from there, we're going to add our cinnamon, or our nutmeg, excuse me. We've got ground nutmeg. And we're just going to give a little dash of that and a little dash of cinnamon, and then I'll mix that all up, and we'll see how that taste is, and we'll go from there. So give it a mix. Now we're getting a nice eggnog appearance here with a great smell. There's a great smell coming off of this right now. That's perfect. I wouldn't change it. So there we have it. We have an Amasai that is now a chai Amasai with no sugar added, nice and sweet with the stevia. It has all the flavor that you want to have with the cloves, the cinnamon, and the nutmeg. Enjoy.